But make no mistake, this woke virus is real and it ruins people's lives.
Piers Morgan is a prominent figure in British journalism, recognized for his bold approach and his knack for addressing the most urgent and significant issues. Recently, his ire was directed at Keir Starmer, the leader of the UK Labour Party, whom he scrutinised thoroughly. Morgan accused Starmer of intentionally dodging tough questions and overlooking critical issues, which left him deeply disappointed. His frustration peaked when he pointed out stark contradictions between Starmer's actions and the values that the Labour Party professes should underpin its policies. Let's explore what Piers specifically said about Starmer, why it provoked such a strong reaction from him, and the potential ramifications for the political landscape.
After 13 years of Tory rule with 3 prime ministers in one chaotic year recently, his path to power is clear. But he still has to prove he knows what matters to the British people. And today, I believe he made a massive miscalculation. He's reportedly briefed his top team to avoid talking about social issues, woke issues, because apparently the public doesn't care.
Piers Morgan couldn't hold back his outrage as he sharply criticised Keir Starmer's recent lifestyle. He vehemently contended that this lifestyle not only contradicts the image of the Labour Party, but also fundamentally undermines the values it is meant to uphold. The Labour Party, one of the 2 primary political forces in the United Kingdom alongside the Conservative Party, was founded in the early 20th century from labour movements and trade unions advocating for workers' rights and social welfare. Consequently, the revelation that Starmer accepts lavish gifts and lives in luxury sparked significant discontent among his colleagues. Just consider this: while millions struggle to make ends meet amid rising living costs, the leader of a party that claims to represent workers' interests is indulging in extravagant gifts, including designer clothing and expensive eyewear. It seems utterly absurd, doesn't it? What particularly enraged Morgan was discovering that Starmer was renting an apartment for an eye-watering £2,000 a month for his son while he studied. Morgan pointed out sarcastically that such an amount is beyond the reach of many British families grappling with rent and energy bills. Incredible, isn't it? In defense, Starmer explained that he aimed to provide a comfortable environment for his son to study, especially with their home being under constant media scrutiny ahead of the elections. But does that really justify his actions?
What are they scared of? The Labour Party is based 2.8 miles away from his studio. His front benchers have an open invitation to come on to debate all of this stuff, as well as their plans for running the country. But so far, they've repeatedly rejected.
Starmer insists that his decision will not adversely affect public finances and is solely focused on providing a better education for his son. However, this assertion has sparked a significant backlash against him and other party members who accept generous donations from benefactors. Piers Morgan vehemently argues that such behavior underscores the level of privilege that most British families struggle to manage. While millions are grappling with rising rents and utility costs, spending on children's education in this manner seems utterly outrageous and inappropriate. But that's not all. Let's discuss taxes. Previously, Starmer hinted at the possibility of increasing taxes to fund social programs, which has ignited further controversy. Implementing a 20% VAT on tuition fees for private schools could generate an impressive $1.5 billion annually. This policy aims to ensure that wealthy individuals in the UK finally contribute fairly to the state budget. As if that weren't enough, there are also plans to raise taxes on income from deferred interest on private investments in line with the highest income tax rate, which could yield an additional $500 million per year. The situation is becoming increasingly tense, and the issues of fairness within the tax system demand urgent attention.
So far this year, I've interviewed the Prime Ministers of Britain, Israel, Australia. I went to the Ukraine to interview President Zelensky, interviewed former US President Donald Trump. I've interviewed other US presidential candidates for 2024. The one person I've not interviewed is Keir Starmer.
Extending the duration and increasing the rates of certain environmental and social taxes is projected to generate an impressive $1.2 billion annually. Starmer and his team are eager to highlight their commitment to transparency in financial decisions, especially in light of previous criticisms regarding the unrealistic tax and budget proposals made by past governments. However, Piers Morgan poses a critical question: who truly benefits from such policies? He remains skeptical that the proposed tax hikes will genuinely help ordinary citizens, viewing them instead as political maneuvers designed to gain public trust without offering real solutions. Morgan expresses his profound disappointment, believing that Starmer resorts to vague rhetoric and shies away from addressing pressing societal issues. Additionally, he claims that Starmer has instructed his team to steer clear of discussing social matters like the equality movement, asserting that the public lacks interest in these topics. Morgan strongly disputes this notion, arguing that people genuinely care about these issues, and ignoring them equates to neglecting the voice of the populace. It's worth noting that despite the controversies and disagreements that have marked his media career, Piers Morgan has never hesitated to pose tough questions to political leaders. In interviews with global figures such as Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and influential Israeli leaders, he consistently aims for deep, meaningful discussions rather than superficial exchanges. This is why Starmer's ongoing avoidance of dialogue with him leaves Morgan feeling frustrated. He insists that to be a credible leader, one must stop evading interviews. Despite numerous public invitations, Starmer consistently declines the chance to be interviewed by Morgan, which only heightens suspicions about his reluctance to confront challenging questions. This behavior creates an impression that he is fearful of open dialogue and the genuine discussions that are essential in our society.
One of the richest and smartest men in the history of this planet says that something's literally threatening civilization. We should probably not just dismiss it. It's very easy to dismiss this stuff as culture wars, diversionary tactics used by politicians, so we get mad about society instead of their mismanagement.
By dodging opportunities for open discussion on crucial issues, Starmer appears unprepared to be transparent, which erodes public trust in his ability to effectively engage with people. Criticism of him extends beyond Piers Morgan, with notable figures like Jeremy Clarkson, Elon Musk, and even Donald Trump weighing in. Trump has been scathing in his criticism of Starmer's policies and leadership style. Starmer's decision to rent a luxurious apartment for his son amidst the living wage crisis and uncertain tax policy further isolates him from the harsh realities faced by ordinary people.